Welcome to Undisputed live from Los Angeles. We made it. We're here for Friday. I'm Jason McIntyre. He's Greg Jennings. Over here, Rob Parker. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
What's
happening? Oh, my goodness, yes.
Let me get a little something. Let me get
Yeah. Let's do this.
Got to watch some preseason football. Wow, I saw a lot of good stuff and a lot of bad stuff.
Ahead on the show, did the Lakers' championship hopes take a major hit? And Zeke is looking fit, but will it matter? But we're going to start with the #1 pick. Folks, the hype train lost some steam for Kyler Murray last night. After an impressive 6-for-7 debut last week, Kyler struggled big time against the Raiders last night. Murray certainly looked like a rookie on the field. He was 3 for 8 for 12 passing yards, was sacked twice, once for a safety. He also drew 3 flags, 1 delay a game, and 2 false starts. After the game, Kyler admitted he didn't look good, but also chalked it up to it being only the preseason.
It obviously wasn't as, polished as we would like it to be, but, I mean, it's a learning experience. I mean, it's football. We didn't look as good as we would like to look, but it's a preseason. This is why it's a preseason. It's just tough because, we're not playing a whole game. And it's I don't want to say it's not real, but it's just, it's not the regular season. We're not doing everything that we're going to do. So that's why it's kind of, it gets frustrating, but at the same time, it's preseason, so.
Greg Jennings, how concerned are you about that generational talent you spoke about yesterday, Kyler Murray?
I figured you would throw that out there.
Had to.
You know what? I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned at all. What I'm excited about is what I heard post-game. He's not rattled about his performance. He understands there's a progression to this thing. Second preseason game, you're going to get some different looks, and he definitely got some different looks thrown at him. And so did his rookie head coach, Cliff Kingsbury. And let's just look at the landscape of who this Arizona Cardinals team is and what Kyler Murray is inheriting as an offensive quarterback on that team. Passing yards last season, dead last. Rushing yards, which we know that helps out a quarterback, takes a little bit of pressure off the quarterback, dead last. Total offense, dead last. Points per game, 14 points, dead last.
Greg, that's why you get the #1 overall pick.
It is why you get the #1 overall pick. In giveaways, they were 27. So let's understand what this young man is inheriting. He understands that. He understands it's going to be a process. But what I like about him is he's going to make this team better. I guarantee when we sit here at the end of this season, we won't be talking about the Arizona Cardinals being dead last in these categories because of what he provides. His ability to, again, as I mentioned before, escape, elude tackles. We saw it last night. We obviously saw some pressure that he has to then get rid of the ball, but he needs help. It can't be all about Kyler Murray, and that's what it's looking like it's going to be. So this offense, as highly exciting as it is and it's been in the college game, the one thing about the pro game is if you can't make it work, if teams see that there's any kink where they can expose it, they're going to expose it. Teams are going to jump right on and do this. But I still am high on Kyler Murray. I think he has a bright, bright future. They got to get some pieces around him, and they got to protect him.
After watching Kyler Murray's game last night, baseball fans all over America were excited. He went 3 for 8. He's on his way to the Baseball Hall of Fame, but unfortunately we realized it was football, and he looked more like a Pop Warner quarterback, just not as big. So let's just be honest, Greg.
Wow. That's a low blow.
I'm just saying. That was bad last night. And you could talk about the past, last year, what's wrong with the Cardinals. We all got that. But to watch him, especially after the general manager, Keim, was talking about this generational talent, and to see him, he looked out of place. He didn't look like that guy. And I know it's an exhibition game. I know it's only his second game. I'm not saying he's a bust or he's not going to be able to play in this league. That's not what I'm saying. But I'll tell you, when you watched, you just said, I don't know. I'm not convinced. And I think that's why a lot of other teams pushed off on him, because you're not convinced, Greg. You might be, and maybe a couple other guys, but most people got validated last night. Whether it's fair or not, they looked and they said, this is why I couldn't.
So, Rob, you're looking at 4 series where Kyler Murray had 14 total yards, and you're like, I don't know if he can be a quarterback.
No,
in the preseason?
This is my problem. If he lit it up last night, people would validate him and say, see?
Generational talent.
Generational talent if he lit it up. So you can't have it both ways. If you play well and everybody lifts you up and says, see, you're wrong, you don't know about Kyler Murray. But now if you're playing out there and you're talking about being elusive, he got sacked a few times, he was flushed out, they were all over him, and he didn't know what to do with the football. I didn't see the poise that people were talking about, not last night. He was under duress, which is natural.
But why can't you have it both ways? Why can't there be nuance? And you say, you know what? I'm concerned about this guy behind that awful offensive line, but ultimately he could be okay. This is like when you plant seeds to plant, like, you know, a tomato tree in your yard. You don't wake up the next morning and expect stuff to be sprouting instantly. This takes time. You got to nurture it.
I get it.
But I don't want you to sell Kyler Murray short. Again, it is early.
I'm not. But I'm just saying, had he had a great night, it would be the other way. And you wouldn't discount a great night in a preseason game, right? You wouldn't discount it if he plays well. Do not discount it when he plays poorly, is all I'm saying. Don't discount it.
We're not discounting the fact that he played poorly. What I'm saying is, let's not put all the eggs in one game and say that this is who he is.
I didn't say that.
No, well, this is what you're acting like. We're saying, are you concerned? And you're saying, yes, you're concerned because of one game. Yes, if he had had success last night, we would have been excited and saying, this is what we can expect in the regular season. But when we see him play like this, it's more than just about him, because we saw him, as you mentioned, under duress.
But this is why he won't be, he has a chance not to be that special generation player, because of all the stuff you talked about. The reason why Josh Rosen couldn't be a good player, because the team is bad. It's going to hold him back, Greg. He won't be able to blossom and be that guy, because he'll be under duress, because they can't run the football, because of all these things.
Rob, here's the counter.
That will be the reason why.
This is what I'm saying. We had Jeff Fisher on this set Monday, okay? Jeff Fisher coached Jared Goff in his first year with the Rams. Jared Goff's rookie year, he was 0 for 7. 0 wins, 7 losses, 54% completions. I was coming on these shows here on FS1, and everybody on the set, Jared Goff is a bust. Oh, my goodness. Buyer's remorse, #1 pick. This guy can't play. Jared Goff gets a new coach, works into a new offense. Jared Goff takes the Rams to the Super Bowl.
Difference in Jared Goff, they have good players on the Rams.
Well, you can't. You think they're going to...
might not have had the right offensive game plan, and we know he struggled doing that. All I'm saying to you is, the Cardinals are not the Rams. The Rams have really good players. Well, and once he got a coach in that could use his ability, all I'm saying is the Cardinals are a really bad team, and Greg laid it out. Kyler Murray, given all the other stuff that he has to deal with and try to prove to people that he is that guy, is going to be tougher, and we saw it last night because it's a bad football.
But so were the Jets last year with Sam Darnold.
No, they're not that bad. They're not that bad. Greg laid it out.
They're bad. No, I got more for you, Greg.
They're a really bad football team.
Patrick Peterson, their star cornerback. He's out for the first 6 games. Their #2 cornerback, Alford, the guy they signed in the offseason, who, by the way, gave up the most receiving yards in the league last year. He's hurt and out for a couple months. This defense is going to be bad. Rookie coach, rookie quarterback. Greg, this is a 2 or 3 win team, but I'm not concerned about Kyler Murray. You're not either, right?
Yeah, I'm not concerned about Kyler Murray because of the process. And #1, when you look at teams that are bad, you have to start, what we start to do is start to pick out what's good about those teams. Kyler Murray is going to be what is good, what is promising, what is the future about the Arizona Cardinals. So we can't just throw all the bad on his shoulders and say, look, bring us to prominence. make us relevant again. That will happen eventually. But what the upper management has to do is plug in pieces around this young man. If you're so sold on him about being the generational talent that I believe he can be and that you say that he already is, then you have to do that to protect him. You can't put him out there and playing this college-style offense with this spry receivers out on the field and your tackles on the islands with the rushers that we have in this National Football League. Your quarterback is going to suffer. He's going to be under duress. And again, another stat that I didn't even mention, they were on third down, which is money down as we call it, literally